Okay, let's talk briefly about the trip that Trump just got out of from the Middle East. This happened last week. It was a 4-day trip, and basically he had a very warm welcome from all four countries. So let's start with Saudi Arabia. He had a $600 billion commitment from the Saudis for future investments into the U.S., which included a $142 billion arms agreement, the largest defense deal in history. He is going to lift sanctions on Syria and, quote, give them a chance at greatness, which ends a 46-year reign of sanctions. And then he went to Qatar, where he was the first president to make a first official welcome or first official visit. And so he was greeted with a flyover ceremonial, fighter jets, a motorcade with camels, sword dancers, cyber jets or cyber trucks. He purchased, or rather, Qatar is committing to purchasing 210 jets from Qatar Airways, $96 billion, a deal that's largest in the company's history from Boeing, a historic $1.2 trillion economic commitment from Qatar. And also, he says, let's take Gaza and make it into a freedom zone. And then he's also signing a nuclear deal with Iran. And then he visits the UAE as his last stop, where he had a massive traditional welcome, and they had agreed to import 500,000 NVIDIA chips in a very large AI deal that's going to make them hopefully, or rather from their perspective, a global power in that area. So again, this is what's being shown on the surface, and that's all fun and good and everything. But what you've got to remember is that there's a bigger picture going on, right? So that's something that's happening behind the scenes. I've been saying to people that there is a very strong, stronghold from the global elite perspective that they had on not only the Middle East, but Iran, and also with Saudi Arabia. We talked before about how this whole Las Vegas shooting, if you remember, that happened during President Trump's first term, was actually a thwarted attempt at an assassination attempt at Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudi prince, and it saved him and his generation. So shortly afterwards, behind closed doors, he's taken out all of these people and cleaned house. But imagine, and again, you can do your research. You can go down this rabbit hole about, research helicopters shooting into the crowd, research that there was shots up and down the strip, research the fact that there's stuff that doesn't add up. All these people at the airport, different hotels, hearing gunfire, and just strange video of escorts of Middle Eastern people, and all these things happening. And so they pinned it down to one guy. Again, it sounds like conspiracy, but a lot of people, whether you're left or right or conservative, liberal, whatever, they've done the research and they've seen that something was odd about this. And what we in the truther community have come to realize is that it was a thwarted attempt at Mohammed bin Salman. And if that were to have gone global in the news and say, hey, there was an assassination attempt, but he won and the US helped him, it would have done all sorts of things to cause global chaos. But they just quietly shoved it under the rug. They made it sound like, oh, it was a lone wolf gunner and all these things. And it was a power grab. So all of these power grabs have happened for a very, very long time. And remember, all of this can't be said, but Q says that there was control, leverage of Iran. POTUS took control of Iran, and pending sanctions and military action, POTUS will gain more ammunition and intel against them. Suicide watch, the deal kept Iran quiet. So what are they hiding? Trips to the White House. What is HRC, which is Hillary Rodham Clinton? In NZ, is NZ part of Five Eyes? So all of this, again, talking about something else. And it was never about, worldwide safety and security. It was never about nuclear disarmament. It was about opening a new untapped market. Says, Q in post 1345. It was about securing a black site. There's other stuff. Again, I'm just only touching on a couple stuff. Define bribe, define kickback, why EU. And again, I don't know the details fully to the stuff. A lot of other people research this, but the point here being that even Q mentions and many other people mention that the Middle East, they were trapped in a sense. They had somebody else behind the scenes controlling them. And what Trump did was he went in there and for the past however many years freed them, or a lot of them, especially Saudi Arabia and the surrounding countries, the whole Middle East, from the reins and the control of these people. Again, the white hats are fighting back and they're removing control of certain strongholds. You're seeing that in Ukraine. You're seeing that Israel, Palestine stuff, just so many other places. Again, it sounds conspiracy, but it can't be told out in the open because these guys, they've had a nefarious plan for a very long time. But Trump, the white hats, and many other people have gone in there, dismantled it. And what you're seeing in front of you, unfold in front of you, is some of the celebrations in an optics perspective. So you got to understand that what they did in the Middle East this past week was far beyond what anybody, any regular person, not just any, president or whatever, what they did was celebrate openly what is a great achievement, but they just can't say it. They can't go out there and say, oh, you know what, Trump did this, and they're dismantling the white hats or the black hats and all these things. They can't just name it out in the open because it would disrupt the whole operation. But they're showing their gratitude by saying, you know what, after this, our country is prospering, we want to invest. There's many other things. Trump isn't just some good deal maker. Yes, he is, but there's other things going on behind the scenes that are dismantling and getting the stronghold in that country out so that they can be autonomous. Remember, Trump, many others, they want not only America first, but each individual country to be independent and not be a globalist society that is being controlled by some of the elites, the people that have a lot of power and money. This is what is happening right now. And again, it sounds conspiracy. It sounds like it's a crazy thing, but if you do your research and you understand biblical perspective, the end times, and what the Antichrist is trying to do to usher in a early reign, then you know that now's not the time, but it will come at some point, a globalization and a power grab from somebody, the Antichrist of the whole world. But right now it is not the time. And so again, I know a lot of people are looking at this from a, Christian versus, other religions perspective and all of that. Again, Trump is not for, certain, religions, with the exception of obviously putting Christ and God first. If you want to say Christianity, that's good. But rather, he's trying to do world peace. He's trying to allow prosperity from each country to each their own, as well as putting America first and not be in the grasp or the reins of this global elite. So that's what's happening right now. And more is coming, but I want to at least make some comments on this because people have all kinds of views and all of that. But what's factual that the media and these guys are not reporting and they're not really showcasing is that what happened in the Middle East was far beyond what you can imagine in the sense of the deals, but also the celebration of what's happened with them. Biden wouldn't have done this. Again, Biden as in, the puppet, and many others. And by the way, he has, I believe, trying to close his chapter. Again, if you know about what happened back on inauguration day for Biden, he's gone and he has cancer, I believe, or that's what they're saying at a public, optics perspective. But again, I think that chapter is being closed off. But regardless, what's happening is progression. So again, just wanted to make some comments about this. Guys, again, I need some help. I am in a big situation where I'm transitioning. I'm here in Korea doing ministry. I'm trying to get my self settled in and just many other things, but I need you guys' support, not only in prayer, but also financially. I know I've been booked and busy just doing a lot of different things here, but I haven't been able to post as often. I'm going to try to get back to it. I know I keep saying that, but I need your support first and foremost so that I can get certain things out of the way and be more comfortable in the sense of not having to worry about doing side things to either make money or to do other stuff from a financial perspective. You guys know I don't take sponsorship deals. I don't do all these things. I did a little bit of that last year, but I feel like that's not where God is leading me. I want to be listener supported, but also be able to allow myself to build from inside out, not only in content creation and just some of the stuff that comes with it from the ad revenue, but also the business side of things that I'm trying to build up. So wanted to just put that out there again. Need you guys to support. The links are down below. I have the Give, Send, Go. Trying to make that target just as soon as possible, but also I have alternate methods, as you can see below, that if you guys want to support in that way, you can. So love you guys. Be blessed. Be encouraged. Talk to you guys very soon.